welcome to another edition of Stadium Unplugged with me, Jay Menon. Now, we're absolutely thrilled that we have yet another international sporting icon to sit down with this evening. Now, this man, he has played in 5 different leagues throughout the world. He kick-started his professional career in Holland and had the privilege of playing for his hometown club before being enticed to Scotland. There, he won the Scottish Cup with Celtic. Not surprisingly, his sterling form secured a move to the Premier League, where he donned the colours of Nottingham Forest. After helping Forest to promotion and the championship title in 1997, a trip back to Holland beckoned. There, he had a stint with several clubs before settling in Feyenoord, where he won the UEFA Cup. This was followed by consecutive league titles in the Turkish league with Fenerbahce. This Orangeman has also been capped more than 40 times for his national side, scoring more than 20 goals in his international career. I'm talking about the one and only Pierre Van Hooijdonk. Now, I hear when you were a kid, you called yourself the loudmouth kid. Would always, say something and get yourself into trouble.
Yeah, that is true, actually. I was quite cheeky when I was young. And that didn't help me a lot, Other people in the class, other children in the class, they were probably laughing a lot, but I was the one who was always getting punished for it, and yeah, it wasn't really clever, of course, but yeah, when you are a little boy, you do things and you don't think about it, and afterwards, yeah, you have your regrets. You're thinking by yourself like, oh, I've been a real pain, in some cases for teachers. But that's life.
How about your parents? How did they deal with you being a cheeky kid?
I think they also find it very difficult because I always had the last word, and I can remember my mom and dad going crazy, because of that. But at the end, I think they also realized that the heart was okay, and if you are cheeky and giving it all this at a certain level, it's okay. If you become abusive, then it's a different story. But I wasn't abusive.
You're a funny kid in general. Okay. Now, I read a story, and I'm not sure whether this is true. You and a friend, you went in the village and you had toy guns. You scared an old lady to no end.
I know.
Is that true?
It was true, but it wasn't even a toy gun. It was one of these 14th century fake guns you put against the wall. So, it's half of it is flat because it's for against the wall, and then
the barrels.
Yes, and my friend, he was moving house of his grandma. So he had the stuff in his car and we were driving around, being bored. And then he opened the window and he had that thing in his hand and he said, "Come on, I want your bag." And the women just threw the bag in the car. And he said, no. So he threw it back out again because, it was not meant, it was just like...
God, did you get into trouble for that?
Actually, no. No.
Now that you've come out and told this story, has anyone come and say, "Oh, that's the boy, oh my gosh"?
No, because I think that we're talking about now 22, 23 years ago. So, and I think that woman involved, if she's still alive, I'm sure she cannot remember this anymore.
All right, so now you were a very mischievous boy. You were running around, pointing fake guns to people. How did you get interested in football? How did you actually find football and then focus on it? How did that happen?
I mean, when you're young, you're going to play. You're going to play outside. And what are you doing? I was playing football because my friends were playing football. And I was starting to play football at a time where the Dutch national team had a big success in '74, reaching the semi-final. So probably it's because of that everybody was watching the games. Your father, your grandfathers, they're all watching the games, and then what you see on the telly as a boy, you want to do as well. And to play football, that doesn't cost a lot. you know, you need one ball and you can play with hundreds. And that's how it all started. And then, you know, I became like football crazy. I was eating, drinking, football 24 hours a day. And I was luckily to have a certain amount of talent. So I was playing well, you know, and scoring goals. And yeah, that helped me also in my youth to establish myself. Because if you, doesn't mean, I don't mean only football, but if you can do something well, it's a confidence, and it creates a lot of respect from other children for you.
Okay. Did you have any idols growing up? Anyone that you looked to in particular, a footballer or anyone else?
Yeah, I was always Ruud Gullit was my hero.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, he's a close friend now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that feel like meeting him for the first time?
The first time was very weird because, you know, I met him quite old. I mean, I wasn't 7 or 8 years old. And meeting somebody then made me 7 years old again. The same behavior, you know. You're like, oh, you don't know really what to say. You're scared.
What did you say to him?
Oh, I don't know. I just say hi, introduce myself, and then I step back, you know. And we were with some other guys, and we were all chatting with him. So I was like a little bit, you know, on the background, just waiting for the moment to
Swoop.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Now, do you remember the moment that you scored your first goal? What was that whole experience like?
Professional goal.
First professional.
Yes, I do remember. I came on as a sub. I was playing for RBC Roosendaal. At the moment, they don't exist anymore. They got bankrupt last year. But at that time, they were a first division team, so not Premier League and all, but first division team. And I was playing there for 2 months. I came from a very low amateur team, so it was not, you know, very obvious that I was gonna be a very good football player. But I was good enough, you know, good enough for that moment, for that club. And I was 19 years old, so quite young. And I think 15 minutes before the end, they put me on. We were losing 1-0, and then one ball dropped in front of me, and I, you know, with the inside of my feet, I put it in the right corner. That was my first goal in professional football.
What did you do to celebrate?
I ran over to my dad and my father-in-law and 2 other friends because I knew where they were standing. At that time, everybody was standing.
Yeah.
You know, and I jumped, you know, going mad.
Okay, all right. Now, you've retired from professional football for quite a few years now. Why did you retire at that point? Why did you pick that point of retirement?
I retired when I was 37 and a half. So in football, it's already quite late. I was still fit. I trained every day. Sometimes the coach said, okay, this afternoon we're training twice. You can stay in. I said, no, I don't feel anything. I have no complaints the next day. I want to go out because I want to show the people as well that I wasn't old and done. You know, I was still fit. But I was part of a team, of a club. I was playing for Feyenoord, and I was playing for Feyenoord for the second time that time. The first time, 3 years before that, we won the UEFA Cup, and the club was at a certain level. Also, the squad was in balance age-wise. Then, because of financial problems, the older players were almost gone. So, I was playing with we had 2 other guys in the 30s, and the rest, I think 70% of the squad was 17, between 17 and 23 years old. And that was a massive gap for myself. And I always said to myself, if the moment comes that I don't enjoy one day of training, or I'm not looking forward to go training, you know, because of that, or that I'm not fit anymore, that's me done. Then I will retire. And I was still fit, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I should. for my own standards. So I decided to call it a day. I had still opportunities to play in Australia and play in Dubai, but we were just 2 years back from Turkey, and my son was going to school in Holland, and I didn't want to take them again to Dubai or to Australia, and then probably noticing that after 1.5 months or 2 months I'm not enjoying myself, and I want to leave and go back again. So I said, no, okay, I had a good career on a sportive base, but also financially. So it's 37.5 is a respectful age.
Very respectful. Let's talk about the point that you retired and the transition process. So you've been playing football for as long as you can remember, and then quitting it completely. What was that like for you?
That question has been asked so many times, and I always explain to the people that are asking these questions, that I didn't stop playing. I started, we were talking about the early ages when you were a boy. I was playing football. I was doing something that that was my hobby, and I always seen it as a hobby, never seen it as work. And at one stage, I got paid for it. And over the years, I still got paid, and then all of a sudden, they didn't pay me anymore. But I was still involved. I went to an amateur team playing with friends, that I know for years, just at a lower level, but still playing. So we didn't train, but on the Saturday and Sunday we had the games. So we had the banter after, the beers after, just the fun we've got here as well, with the guys. And these things are precious, and that's, for me, in my opinion, I still haven't stopped playing football.
More to come on Stadium Unplugged with Pierre.
By paying somebody something, that doesn't mean that you have to pull all the strings. Till a certain amount I can understand, but there are things, it's also my life.